It's 1:05 a.m. in Singapore, and that's where we find the founder, the chairman, the CEO of One Championship, Chatri Sitchotong, who is here to talk about a whole host of things, in addition to make a few announcements regarding a very exciting upcoming One Championship event. Here he is, Chatri, joining us. How are you, sir?
Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you as well. Thank you so much for doing this. And I apologize for keeping you up. Are you very tired? Are you cursing me out? Are you saying this damn? Why did I agree to do an interview at 1:05 a.m.?
No, man. It's all love for Ariel, especially hey, happy Yom Kippur to you. And you're working on you're working, and so I gotta work.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean I'm usually up at this hour anyway, so not a big deal.
Okay, well I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You have a few things to announce. We'll get to the announcements, but I do want to ask. Tough year for everyone in the biz. I love the biz of MMA. I love the business of MMA. You guys came back and you did the events, and Singapore very strict as far as COVID is concerned, and you had the events, closed off to the public and everything. The past year and a half for you. No one saw this coming for the company. How would you describe? How has it been? What kind of challenges have you had to overcome? And how would you look back at the past 18 months as we are still trying to, live through the pandemic?
Man, I held a company meeting right when the pandemic hit and the country was shut down here in Singapore. And I said, look, this is going to be the worst global crisis in 100 years, genuinely. It's going to hit people in ways that we never imagined. And, so far it's come true. And every major global sports property was down. We were also down for a couple of months last year. We're very fortunate to the Singapore government for allowing us to have a bubble here. It's kind of like the Fight Island bubble, except it's in Singapore. We've been able to have events, on a regular cadence. So we've been very fortunate. And on one hand, I told my team, look, this is going to be a really tough environment. So we're going to have resilience. We're going to get more no's, more rejections, more failures, more setbacks, more obstacles than ever before. At the same time, I said, we're going to have new problems we've never even seen. And so we have to have creativity in addition to the resilience and find solutions we never thought of before, think out of the box. And I'm super grateful to my team. They just, burned the midnight oil and came up with incredible ideas and how we could operate even remotely, operating our entire events remotely. We operate our events in Thailand remotely from here without any staff, full-time staff on ground. We were on the phones and on Zoom operating the live events, which is a first, right? So it's been pretty chaotic, but at the same time, I'm really thrilled to say that, we hit record viewership numbers on TV, on digital, and social in 2020 and 2021. Again, is off to a very record high levels right now as we speak. So super grateful to my team and super grateful to the fans out there. And obviously super grateful to the Singapore government.
Yeah, the Singapore government, very strict as you alluded to. Are things easing up a little bit? Is life going to get easier for you guys, or is it still as strict as it was a few months ago?
No, it's definitely gotten a lot better because, the country is about 84% vaccinated now, and the Singapore government is definitely, heading directionally towards opening the economy fully. It's not yet fully open, but that's the plan. And so far, the vaccines have helped reduce the number of serious cases and fatalities in the country. So I think people having more confidence in it and the government having more confidence. But yes, it's still quite strict relative to the rest of the world. And they've done a phenomenal job managing this whole situation.
Do all One Championship fighters need to be vaccinated?
Yes, by the Singapore government. Right now, we're having events only in Singapore in our bubble, and the Singapore government is only allowing tourists or business people or athletes who are fully vaccinated to enter the country. That's blanket for every industry, for everything, and not just One Championship specific.
Has that caused any issues for you?
Not really. I think our athletes right now are about 80% vaccinated anyways. And that number is trending higher and higher every week. So it hasn't been an issue one way or the other.
Had there not been a pandemic, do you think One Championship would have debuted in America by now?
Definitely. I mean, that was the plan, right? I mean, and then the pandemic hit and it just threw everything. I mean, all of our plans out the window. We had to rejigger everything. So Yes, for sure. Definitely that was the plan. And, that was always a plan with our Turner partnership and everything like that. Right. So that was gradually going from BR Live and then going out to TNT and then having events here. And that was the whole events in the States rather.
Yeah.
That was the whole game plan. And it just, it was a very difficult time. And obviously also Turner went through its own kind of chaos with the AT&T acquisition, and then now it's getting spun out to Discovery. So there's a lot of internal chaos as well there.
Mm-hmm. So did you have like a date, a location? Did you even have some semblance of a card? Like, were we that close to the One Championship U.S. debut?
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Wow.
We had a skeletal card. We didn't send bout agreements out, but we had a game plan, and yeah, I mean, we were super excited and had the right broadcast partner. And so, yeah.
Where would it have been?
That I can't say, okay. Ariel. I just say that, we are talking to multiple states. We have a few states that have approved our global rule set. Rich Franklin and Matt Hume, who live in the States, have done a phenomenal job talking to different athletic commissions. So, things are looking good.
So do you think, is that still in the works? Maybe not for 2021, but 2022, do you think if things continue to get better across the world with the pandemic, do you think one will finally come to the U.S. to hold an event here?
Yes, I can say with almost 100% certainty. Obviously, as long as COVID moves in the right direction, and it does seem to be in various parts of the world. Of course, I think Asia is still, as a continent, the worst hit. You have record level highs in different countries here. Most countries' borders are still shut, not allowing travel. So it's still tough, but directionally, I think the world is moving in the right direction. And if things stay the way they are, with almost 100% certainty, we'll be in the States next year.
Nice. You mentioned TNT, great partner. They have a lot of great things going for them with the NBA, NHL coming to TNT, AEW wrestling. So you guys are a big part of what they're doing. And you had that fun month of events on a Wednesday, which I really liked after AEW. I thought it was a really great idea to have you guys come on right after. Unfortunately, the first event, you can't, it's not pro wrestling, right? You can't script this thing. You have the weird finish with Eddie, and then you have DJ losing.
Man, frustrating.
What is going on in Chatri's mind when this is all unfolding? This is your big live show on prime time Wednesday. There's not a lot of sports going. What is going on in your mind when this is all unfolding?
A lot of swear words, and I was definitely not a happy camper, man. I was like, how the hell can we we open up, boom, if this happens, and we have a 5-minute low, like it's just the worst possible start.
Right.
But that's the thing about live sports. It is what it is, and so we just went with it, and super grateful to Eddie for coming back on the last TNT show, right? When he didn't have to, but I asked him for a favor, and he came back. So
yeah. Overall, was everyone happy with those events?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we were surprised by the numbers, and we recently, David Levy, the former president of Turner, joined our board of directors, and he said, the numbers we hit on TNT is quite remarkable, given the fact that Turner is an entertainment channel and mostly females in terms of its demographic. And so, yeah, I mean, he was very happy with the numbers, and he said, look, I was super surprised. And he just recently joined our board a couple months ago.
Okay.
Or a month ago.
So you are about to celebrate your 10-year anniversary, which is a great milestone for any organization, let alone one in MMA, because we've seen so many come and go. So congratulations to you and the entire team on that. And I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, in conjunction with this, you are going to be holding a big event to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of One Championship, correct?
Yes, that's right. And to honor your new show or back on the show, we decided we're going to announce it with you. December 5th, the event's called 1X. For the, Roman numeral 10, 10th year anniversary. It's going to be our biggest and most unique show in the history of the company. And I think it's going to be something crazy fun for fans all over the world.
Okay. Can you tell us about some of the fights on this card, this crazy unique card?
Yes. So I can say, I can give you a sneak peek of a few of the fights. Not all the main events, not all the main fights, but a really interesting one is Demetrius Johnson versus Rodtang, who's the Muay Thai world champion here. In a mixed special rules fight, 4 rounds, 3 minutes apiece. The first round is Muay Thai in 4-ounce gloves. Second round is MMA in full MMA rules and global rule set. Third round is Muay Thai, and fourth round is MMA. And so why it's so intriguing is, and it's crazy because this bout has already been signed. If you think about it, the first round opens, Rodtang, his record is 267 wins and 42 losses in Muay Thai. He is literally the hottest KO striker on the planet in terms of striking arts right now. He's 10-0 in one championship, and he's the Muay Thai world champion. He has 3 minutes to try to knock out DJ. So DJ, there's a lot of pressure on him. But then if he survives the next round, Rodtang has to survive 3 minutes of DJ's, explosive wrestling and submission and whatnot, right? I don't think DJ's going to strike with him. And DJ has that pressure, man. I got to sub him within 3 minutes. Same thing with Rodtang in the first round. I got to knock him out in the 3 minutes. So it's going to be this kind of really Pride style, back to the old days. And we want to do something special like that. We wanted to do something fun that would, commemorate martial arts in a way that celebrates all of mixed martial arts and its history, not just our 10-year history. We're also having several world title fights. So Bibiano Fernandez, who's 24-4, he's the longest reigning world champ in the bantamweight division. He's defending against John Lineker, who has risen through the ranks and is now the #1 contender. John Lineker, I think, is 34-9. That's going to be a very intriguing fight. They've gone back and forth already on Twitter. In Brazil, they're super stoked for this fight because there's genuine bad blood and potential passing the torch. So let's see. Then what else? There's a featherweight world title fight. Gary Tonin, world champion submission grappler, who's now 6-0 in mixed martial arts. The nastiest heel hooks, ripping legs since he was a kid. Very, very dangerous now because he's also an outstanding striker now and with outstanding wrestling, but he's fighting Tanlay, a very unique Taekwondo stylist with, good jiu-jitsu. I believe he trains with Ryan Hall. And then a bunch of other, we'll make more announcements, but I think for now, Ariel,
I love it.
Breaking news right here.
I love
December
it.
5th, ONE, the biggest show in history of ONE, the most unique. We've never done, again, this kind of mixed, you probably know already, Ariel, we do have individual styles. So we have mixed martial arts, we have Muay Thai, we have kickboxing, we've had boxing, we've had submission grappling matches, on our platform, but we've never done crossover stuff like, the old school days of Asian MMA.
Okay. First off, thank you for that. I have to start with the DJ fight. Very unique. I know maybe not everyone here in America who's just an MMA fan may be familiar with Rodtang, but an absolute legend. And correct me if I'm wrong, you've never done a match like this before, right? You've done Muay Thai, but you've never done a mixed match. Was it hard? I would guess, I don't know, maybe to DJ or to either guy. Was it hard to get them on board to do this? Like, did you have to convince one harder than the other to do this?
That was crazy. They both said yes right away.
Wow.
Yeah, they both said yes right away. I think they thought about it for, a few hours, but they replied both the same day. So it wasn't something they, it's, you're right. Rodtang out here in Asia, he's a legend. I mean, he's just a massive KO striker. And, if you go to YouTube or anyone watching the show right now, go to YouTube, Google Rodtang, and you'll see he's a monster. He's just a beast. He's literally, I would argue, one of the greatest pound for pound strikers, KO strikers on the planet today of any style.
Yeah.
And in 4-ounce gloves, being able to use his Muay Thai weapons against a DJ, it's going to be very intriguing. Incredible. At the same time, like I said, they alternate, right? The first round is Muay Thai full rules. The second round, MMA global rule set, and then it flip-flops. So both athletes are going to be under pressure for massive aggression in one round and then massive defense in the other. So, they're going to, no matter what, they're going to try to finish each other.
What weight?
Flyweight.
Flyweight. And that's 135 in one championship. Given your
right. Because it's hydrated,
yep.
Right? We don't the athletes don't cut water weight and then bounce back.
Gotcha.
Their hydration levels throughout fight week and actually even before fight week.
Where is the event taking place?
in Singapore.
In Singapore, okay. So that is super interesting, and I think that's the one that's going to steal all the headlines. The Bibiano Fernandes versus John Lineker fight is very interesting to me for a couple reasons. Of course, we know John Lineker from the UFC, hands of stone, fan favorite, always a very action-packed fighter, loves to push the pace, etc. But correct me if I'm wrong, last couple of years with Bibiano, it's been hard to get him to come back to one. Like, what has been the issue there? Why has he been on hiatus?
So we just ran into the typical contract stuff, but Bibi and I had a great chat on Friday, resolved all the issues. He signed back on, and everything's great, and he's agreed to this fight with Lineker. So I think Brazil's going to get what they want, but I think you're right. I mean, Lineker is a very, very fun fighter to watch. And I think he's done very well with our hydration system. He used to have difficulty cutting weight, as you know, but with our hydration system, he feels much stronger, and he's had some really explosive performances against some elite world-class martial artists. And so, I think Bibiano, this could possibly be a passing of the torch, but at the same time, Bibiano, again, I just had a Zoom call with him on Friday. He's super fired up. He still has that fire, and that's the most important thing, is as long as the athlete has the capabilities, health, and the fire in the belly. I think that's very, very important. Like, the minute the fire's gone, then you're not going to train, then you're not going to be, and once the fight gets tough, you're not going to be there, and that's when you get injured. But Bibi is on point, and he's super excited.
And I'm a big fan of Gary Tonin. I think he's one of the best fighters that you have on your roster. He's very dynamic as well. His ground game, well known here in the United States. Speaking of the United States, how will fans in the United States watch this? Is this a TNT card? Is it a pay-per-view card? How's it going to be distributed?
I'll announce that closer once we have the full card and all that stuff. I'll announce that. Yeah.
Okay. Give it to us on TNT. Wednesday nights. Give it to us.
Yeah. Well, we are in the middle of our U.S. media rights roadshow. It kicked off about several weeks ago. CAA representing one and has been leading this stuff. So we've been talking to all the major network broadcasters, all the digital players in the U.S. For our next deal, and obviously talking to Turner as well. But our U.S. deal ends this year, and so we're apparently CAA, says you before the deal ends, 6 months out, you start meeting with everybody, so you close the deal.
So right, testing the market, so free agents. This is big. This is big in this ever evolving media landscape. So as of right now, you don't have a new home for 2022. The deal, does the Turner deal include December 5th, or could you be on a new platform come December 5th?
I'll just say everything's up in the air right now, and let's see what happens in the next few weeks.
Fans in attendance or no fans?
Fans in attendance, yes, but again, we haven't cleared yet how many.
Gotcha.
So September 24th, in 10 days, whatever it is, we have a major event here in Singapore called One Revolution. The Singapore government's allowed 500 fans in, so that will have our first kind of. I think we haven't had 500 fans since before the pandemic, when we used to have full stadium. With fans.
That's the one with Christian Lee on it. His younger sister, the Lee family, doing great things for you guys. Angela Lee, of course, longtime champion who left to give birth, and happy to hear that everything is going well with her as well. All right, so all that is TBD. That is good. We'll find out where in the coming weeks, I'm assuming. I do want to ask you about a couple other non-1X items. Vitor Belfort was a fighter that you signed, and then he never actually fought for one. And we just saw him compete against Evander Holyfield, of all people. What happened with Vitor? Where did it all go wrong there?
No, I wouldn't say it went wrong at all. I mean, Vitor and I are still quite close. We chat on WhatsApp. I wished him good luck for his fight when he was fighting De La Hoya, and then the next day it switched to Evander. But I'm super happy for Vitor. So in a nutshell, Vitor joined One, and we had this big vision that he was going to still be fighting in his prime kind of thing. And then I think he realized that he wanted kind of these special fights. And, we wanted, to put kind of young lion, old lion kind of storylines. And so we just could never see eye to eye. And again, it's nothing negative. It's Vitor has a vision which is panning out, which is phenomenal. I mean, hopefully he fights, Anderson Silva, or he fights, Tyson or whoever next. But there was just a mismatch in terms of what he wanted and what we wanted, and we tried. I mean, both sides tried really hard. He offered a lot of different opponents. We offered a lot of different opponents, and we just never came together. And so, at some point, it's like, look, Chacha, I want to go. Of course, I don't want to stop you. And I left the door open. I said, look, Vitor, if you want to work with us again, no problem, And so, yeah, I would say we have I personally have a very strong relationship with Vitor.
Okay. Eddie Alvarez, will he keep fighting for you guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Eddie's.
Is he going to be on this card?
Yeah.
Will he be on this card, the 1X card?
I think probably, but I don't want to speak because we want to get bout agreements and all that those things sorted out. Right? So I gave you 3 fights.
I'm very greedy. I'm sorry.
Yes, and I broke the news of 1X on December 5th for you.
Yes.
But so. I'd like to speak when things are done.
No, totally. I do want to ask you, yesterday, BloodyElbow.com had a very long report about one's financial situation, and talking about, some of the financial losses, some of the, the improvements over the past year. But there was this one big item about a transfer of $400 million from the group to the company, which then one reported this big, financial gain in 2020. What could you tell us about this transaction and just perhaps overall the financial health of One Championship?
I will say that the internet is a dangerous place, and you shouldn't believe everything you read. That's number one. And there's a lot of factual errors and inaccuracies, but I mean I'll just say that we have some big news that I'll be announcing, and that's that. I'll leave it at that. Some exciting news, and I'll leave it at that. I'll just say, look, the internet is a dangerous place if you believe everything you read, especially from less than how can I say it politely? I would I'll just leave it at that.
Since you say, inaccurate, would you like to clear up anything that was reported there?
No, there's tons of inaccuracies, tons of errors. It's just not even one or two. If it was one or two, I would point it out. But it's not worth addressing. Again, it's like I said, I like to let the truth speak over time, as opposed to, it's just one of these things. For a long time, people doubted us, for example, our viewership numbers. And then Nielsen came out with an industry report on the biggest sports properties in the world just a few months ago. And, this so-called publication was also one of those publications that was, yapping about our viewership numbers. And Nielsen comes out and says, look, one is in the top 10 in terms of viewership and engagement metrics. And actually number 3 in the world for most watched global sports property on TV. And then our online organic video views, I think was number 4, something in the world, number 5 in the world, something like that. So I prefer the truth to come out, and my team and I are just working hard. And I can just tell you that we have literally some of the smartest blue chip institutional investors in the world, like Sequoia Capital, like Temasek Holdings, who are razor sharp, and they're not going to hand us $346 million if we don't know what we're doing. If I'll just leave it at that, man. I'm super excited for so many things, and then obviously announcing our December 5th event, which will be a blockbuster event and a huge 2022. I don't know if you saw some of the interviews I gave, I think last week to mixedmartialarts.com or whoever. 2022 is going to be our biggest year yet. We have the plans, and we'll announce our calendar of events imminently.
I look forward to that, and I appreciate you weighing in on that. Just 2 last things, and then I'll let you go. One, plan on potentially going public. Is that in the works?
Ariel, I'd love to make some big announcements. I can't talk about stuff right now. So, I mean, man, you've done. I can just say that you've. Yeah, but I can't. I can't say anything.
I appreciate that. One last one. The rules, the one rules, everything is a little different than here in the U.S., as you alluded to earlier. You have this this committee that will oversee controversial moments, decisions, such as the Eddie Alvarez one. And there have been decisions that have been discussed about being overturned and whatnot, and this leads to speculation. Are these an independent body? Is it not an independent body? Why do you do this? And could you say that these people are truly independent of one, as opposed to people who are working for one and trying to make decisions in the best interest of one?
So in 10-year history, the committees met 5 times and actually only overturned 1 or 2 times, I think. And the committee is made of 14 individuals. Some are former athletes, judges and officials, et cetera. And we do independent reviews, and then everyone comes together and makes a vote. And that's just, in lieu of an athletic commission. But again, if you look at the history of, 1,000, I think 1,200 matches or something, the committee's been used 5 times. So just for perspective.
Okay.
And if something's super egregious, and we've been lucky so far, I know that we haven't had any massive egregious fights overall. It's not like it's so. I think when something's egregious or when something's super controversial, it just warrants another look and make sure that things are 100% kosher.
Chatri, I wish you guys the best. I really appreciate you coming on the show to announce this news. People are buzzing about the DJ news in particular. I love it. I can't wait to talk to them about it. A match made, in the fans' dreams, a fight that we never thought would happen, especially if you're a fan of combat sports, to see 2 legends come together. Mixed rules, very fun, with each round presenting a different set of rules, Muay Thai, MMA, and then vice versa. That's a really cool idea. I wish you guys the best. December 5th, September 24th as well for your next event. 10 years is a huge milestone, so you should be very, very excited about that. And thank you for coming on the show to talk about all of this. And I'm looking forward to the big plans coming in 2022. And if you need any help selling the rights, Independent Helwani did a great job of selling his own rights a few months ago. I can speak on your behalf to any TV network that is interested in your product.
Thank you, Ariel. Sending you positive energy back to you as well, and huge supporter. So thanks for having me on the show, man.
All right. All the best to you. And thanks for staying up as well. There he is, the CEO, the chairman, the founder of One Championship. Again, just broke the news, December 5th, 1X.